And welcome back to Overtime Fantasy. We're going to be on the whistle to bring you home a fantasy championship. I'm Tyler Jeffries. I'm here with Dan Hudgens, who's finally back from his hiatus, Phil Carella, and Mike Kinder is going to be in and out because he just doesn't know how to properly get off scout team.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there. Dan, you able to talk?
Yeah. Guess I'm going through my second stage of puberty.
Oh, nice, man.
Congratulations. You sound like a midnight happy hour podcast.
Way to drop them, dude.
Yeah, just wanted to spice things up a little bit.
A little pumpkin spice.
I'm going to try and chug a chili one and see if my voice comes back.
Ooh, chug a chili one.
You really dropped the ball on that one.
Test. Did it work?
Yeah,
how's my voice?
It sounds pretty good.
It sounds as to be expected coming from a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
That's not at least like 15.
Oh, okay. Well, give or take.
Give or take.
I sound like I'd stay out at like 10 o'clock.
Let's just be honest. It sounds like you went to a banging concert. Like
you were
just out there singing.
It sounded like you were in the band.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was a rock star.
Yeah, you were rocking it.
Aren't you supposed to not be talking?
I can't help it, man.
Yeah.
I missed the last 13 podcasts, man. I gotta.
That's true. We're glad that you're back. Speaking of being back, how about the Patriots and Tom Brady? And the question that all permits during this time of the season: has Brady lost a step?
Bro, Brady, look, he might have figured out that maybe it was gonna rain last night. Maybe it was gonna maybe his body was telling him something. You know what I'm saying? As you get older, I can tell when it's about to start raining. I can tell when it's going to be cold out just because my knees always hurt.
All right, young buck, I hear you.
So Tom Brady must have knew something was going on.
Yeah, I was actually disappointed with the Patriots yesterday because they finally allowed their first passing touchdown against them this whole year. I don't know if y'all knew that.
I don't know if you knew that they were playing against Danny Dimes.
I did know that. Well,
dimes.
That's a young goat.
Yeah. That's like the Book of Eli.
Oh, that's a new play.
He's reading the Book of Eli right now.
Let's get Eli Manning on this podcast.
He won't say much.
Nah, not much.
Yeah. Did we expect anything other than what happened last night?
Yeah, I was expecting Josh Gordon to at least get 7 points instead of 0.7 points.
No, he had 7 yards.
Yeah, I was expecting 7 points, not 7 yards. 0.7 points.
Yeah, I thought if it was any night to explode, it was last night. I thought that was going to be his night.
I thought last week was his week. I thought this week was his week. I just think he's about to go back to weed and just say, screw the NFL.
Wow.
Whoever said he got rid of it.
Yeah, he hasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what other takeaways do we really take?
The Giants are who we thought they were.
I have to agree with that because when you play the Redskins, you tend to look good.
You tend to look real good.
Yeah, Dolphins this week might be a lot of players you're starting from the Dolphins that we'll talk about, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe
a little bit. Yeah.
A little segue into that. We got starts and sits we're going to talk about today, trying to help you get over this hump if you're slowly behind. It's been a weird fantasy season, that's for sure. So, especially with all the quarterback injuries, that just blows my mind. But that's what we're going to get into. Any other takeaways y'all had from last night's game?
The Patriots had a couple takeaways.
I don't know.
The Giants had some takeaways too.
They took some stuff away. They took an L.
I don't understand, but these commentators just give so many excuses. Like last week with the Colts and the Chiefs, they were talking about, the Chiefs only won that because Patrick Mahomes was injured. He got injured late into the third. That's not the reason they lost. And they forgot about the Colts injuries. But last night they were like, "Oh, Tom Brady, he's overthrowing passes, he's throwing interceptions. Oh, it's the wind. Look how fast the wind's going." I'm like, dude, just stop. He's a quarterback. There's always been wind in his 22 years of his career. He looks like he has not been.
He just looked like he had a bad game.
Yeah, that's it.
The GOAT can have a bad game every now and then.
Am I right on that? Was it 22 years?
You were wrong.
Right? It's close.
They're close. Yeah,
it's close.
You're close.
I was just trying to make him seem like, because I'm 23. I was trying to make him seem extra old.
Oh, damn! You're 23.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's why I don't get a lot of the fantasy studs of the past.
I got the fantasy stud of the past today, and I'm going to go all the way back to 2015.
Woo! That's a far ways away. I got no excuse.
Dude, I still think 2016 was last year.
Yeah, that's true.
We're about to be in another decade.
Honestly, anywhere from 2012 to 2016 is all like kind of a blur for me.
Because
like,
you drank every day.
I don't
partied.
I don't remember like who was good in fantasy and all that stuff. I really don't.
Yeah, I get that.
Tyler might get this one tonight.
Let's get into some of these starts and sits.
Let's do it, man.
So we can get to this fantasy stud of the past quicker.
Because we know that's what you guys want. You guys tune in to hear this stuff.
Yeah.
We'll give it to you. Here we go.
So quarterback, you want to start this off, Dan, since it's your first week back?
Yeah,
man. Yeah, look, I'm starting Kyler Murray. I'm starting him in multiple leagues. Looking at the Falcons' defense, they've allowed 12 passing touchdowns, which is tied for most in the league.
I think that was all last week. I think the 12 touchdowns came last week, right?
Yeah.
From Deshaun Watson.
Last week, bolstered their stats up a little bit. I will say that. You look at their defense; they're decimated. I mean, they have nobody. It's just like last year, where the Falcons are going to have to score points to keep up. I love the over under in this game. I think it's at like 53.
Good.
So it has sneaky shootout potential, and Kyler is starting to show his legs in recent weeks. He rushed for 93 yards last week. So
I almost called it. I said he's going to have 100, but I was short.
God, you suck.
I was short, just like Kyler.
Oh man, that's messed up.
What? He's short. You know it.
Hey, come on, man. He's as tall as you.
I know, and I'm short.
So yeah, I'm starting Kyle. I'm starting him confidently too, and he's going to be a guy that I'm going to target in DFS as well. I mean, DraftKings, FanDuel, like he's reasonably priced, and his rushing alone is going to present a solid floor. So if he doesn't throw well, he doesn't have any passing touchdowns, his rushing is going to make up for it.
Yeah. Okay. Phil, who you got?
I got Matt Stafford.
That's a sneaky good play, I actually think.
We got a pretty good stat line that our newcomer Dan had brought up to us, and that's why he's such a value to our podcast, because he comes up with these stats. Dan, real quick, go over Matt Stafford's last 9 games or last 5 games again. What has he done against the Packers?
Right. So
in Lambeau.
All right. So if you were just to look at just the stats of the Green Bay Packers, they are very strong against the pass this year. If you look up Matt Stafford, his past 5 in Lambeau, he has thrown at least 2 touchdowns. And we're talking about an average, I can kind of guesstimate, it's a little less than 300 yards. So you're talking about a little less than 300 yards and 2 touchdowns that he's averaged over his last 5 in Lambeau. Now, if you go to his last 9 against the Packers, he's still throwing 2 or more touchdowns. So don't look at this matchup and just say, okay, well, prime time at Green Bay, great pass defense. I think you could start Matt Stafford and start him confidently. It just depends on who's out there. Like, don't be afraid of this matchup if you're a Matt Stafford owner.
Right, exactly. And another reason is because I'm in a situation where I have Drew Brees in both of my leagues, so I'm streaming a quarterback every single week. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are doing the same. So Matt Stafford is out there. Some people might have dropped him to pick up some other players. So Matt Stafford is a solid streaming option to start this week, and some would say that he should be starting regardless. So Matt Stafford is my go for this week.
Okay, I like that. Another guy that, and the only reason I'm able to talk about this guy is because Kender is not here. Kirk Cousins is my start of the week, and it looked like he had like a fire lit under him last week playing against the Giants.
Yep.
I know the Giants' defense isn't the best, but he was forcing that ball to Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen was the one that got, the majority of the receiving yards last week. Not majority, he got all of them.
Yeah.
But I think Kirk Cousins he's playing against Philly. Philly has a very struggle secondary. There are a lot of injuries are on that secondary. So what I think is going to happen is that it's a very good matchup, and I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a solid game. Another guy we could talk about is Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is playing against the Saints.
I'm done even saying that we should bench him.
Yeah.
After last week, you start him.
Yeah,
Sorry, but you do.
Gardner Minshew. We said it on the Monday podcast.
Monday.
We will never ever tell you to sit Gardner Minshew again. It doesn't matter what the outlook is. He was playing against the number one passing defense last week.
I don't care who he's playing against.
He killed it. Start the stash if you have to, and that's our quarterback start. So let's get on to some of these quarterback sits. And you know what? Go ahead, Dan. I want you to start this.
Okay, so
start this sits, bro.
All right, let's talk about Dak Prescott. Okay,
sure.
Yeah,
so
that's one I want to talk about too.
Okay,
let's Dak it up.
All right, they're playing the Jets, right?
Yeah.
The Cowboys are going to be heavy favorites. They're going into New York, if I'm not mistaken. It's at New York. They're getting Sam Darnold back. You just look at it. I mean, first gut, instinct would tell you to play Dak Prescott, and you're probably not wrong to do it, right?
This is not saying to sit, but we're just telling you it's shaky.
Right. So what we're saying is, the past couple weeks they try to get like too cute with their play calling. They try to like pass like first against the Packers. It didn't work out. Dak threw picks. They got behind. And, yes, okay, Dak got all those yardage and garbage time, but...
It was garbage time. That's the perfect example. He got 400 yards when they were already down 31-3.
Exactly. It was 31-3. That's when he got all the stats. And, look, the Cowboys, they need to win. I mean, they have to treat this game as a must-win because, you got the Eagles. They're the same record. And the Eagles have a tough matchup against the Vikings. You got to beat teams like the Jets, who are 0-4, they're 0-3 because they had a bye last week. So I think they're going to come out and establish a run with Zeke, and they might limit Dak to a more of a game manager role.
I agree.
But I will not say to sit Dak Prescott.
That makes
sense.
This is the week he could go out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if the stat line was 230 yards, maybe a touchdown or two, and an interception. Because the one thing that the Jets, we talked about this on the Monday podcast.
Yeah.
The Jets have been getting blown out, but their defense still puts up points because they cause turnovers.
Yeah.
And that's what they're very good at. So I think with how Dak's been playing here lately, because you got to think, he played against the Saints, right? And the Saints shut him down. And the Saints have one of the worst passing defenses in the league. They're the sixth best team to play against when you have a quarterback or a wide receiver. I know wide receiver. I'm not sure on the quarterback, but I know wide receiver. They're the sixth best team you want to play against. So he struggled on that. The Jets, their defense has always been good. Just for a franchise, that's the one thing that franchise is known for, is always having a stellar defense. I think this could be a very shaky start for Dak. I know you're probably not going to send him because it's the Jets, but just letting you know if you take that risk, because I'd personally like Kirk Cousins and Matt Stafford over Dak Prescott.
I'm like I said, Kyler. I'm definitely starting, and I'm in a league where I have both Kyler and Dak, and I'm going to start Kyler Murray over Dak Prescott.
Yeah, it's just shaky, and that's the thing is if you have that guy that has the matchups like Kyler Murray, Kirk, I would take all of our starts over Dak Prescott right now.
Now I'm in another league where I have Dak Prescott and Jared Goff. I'm going on,
You're going to go with Dak?
No,
it's tough, man.
I'm definitely saying Goff. See,
I'm leaning Goff right now.
I don't see what it is. Well, I don't understand what makes y'all want to bench Goff so much.
It's not that we want to bench Goff. It's just we saw what the San Francisco 49ers did last week as a team and as a defense. That front seven the whole season has been no joke. They're getting after the quarterback, and I just don't know what it is about the offensive line. Like, the offensive line is decent. It's not bad. But
let's think about this real quick, okay? Let's think about who the 49ers have played so far.
Right.
Okay? The 49ers have played the Buccaneers, they've played the Bengals, they've played the Steelers, and they played the Browns.
Right, yeah.
Think about that real quick.
I mean, have the 49ers, are they overachieving right now? Is that what you're saying?
They're playing underachieving offenses is what I'm saying.
Right, all right. I agree with you.
Think about it real quick. You got offensive line in the Cleveland Browns that is not
Terrible.
protecting.
It's bad.
Right. Okay. So they're going to look really good. You got the Buccaneers, who, let's be honest, the Buccaneers are who they are.
Yeah, it was game 1 too. So
and it was game 1.
You know,
they go to the Cincinnati. Andy Dalton, no AJ Green, no real rush offense with Joe Mixon that day.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, honestly, it's hard to say that, okay, the San Francisco 49ers defense is really that great.
Yeah.
They're going to show, it's going to be shown this week that the Rams wide receivers are going to shred them.
You think so?
If Cooks clears concussion protocol, I think Kupp, I think Cooks, and I think Robert Woods all have massive days.
I like Kupp. In this matchup. I don't like Brandon Cooks. I don't know. I don't know who Sherman's going to be on. The secondary is pretty good.
See, but I don't even think Sherman's that great.
Sherman's not. I wouldn't say Sherman's great.
Sherman is a zone cornerback.
Hey, but the thing is if you got the right scheme around it, anything can get shut down. But that's something we could talk about another. I'm not saying to sit Jared Goff.
No,
I'm not at all.
Right.
I was just asking what Dan thought of if he with Dak Prescott against the Jets or Jared Goff against the 49ers.
Right, but
those
if we're
two
talking about
very shaky starts.
But if we're talking about a high-powered offense like the Rams going up against a good 49ers defense, you got to claim who have they played so far?
I'm leaning Goff because it's in LA, and we know it's kind of like the Big Ben home road splits. It's the same applies for Jared Goff. I mean his home road splits, it favors a home like mightily.
Right.
So he performs a lot better at home. So that's where I'm at now. But like I said, it's kind of up in the air.
But I mean, you would see that matchup if you don't really follow football. You would see that matchup between I have Dak and I have Goff. Ooh, Dak plays the Jets. The Jets suck. Goff has to go against 49ers. They're really good this year.
Right, yeah.
Bro, they've played at teams that have only 3 wins combined.
Just like you said, underachieving offenses. That's pretty much who they...
So another sit, Carson Wentz. We're going to stay in the same division. They're playing against Minnesota. Minnesota has a great defense. We don't have to tell you that. You already know because most of y'all probably have Minnesota's defense if y'all were able to get them.
Minnesota.
I mean, they're just all over. Just a great defense. It's going to be a shaky start for Carson, but that's all we have for quarterback sits.
I have one quick stat on the Vikings, and they're at home. And the Vikings, when they're at home, their defense they step up big time.
Yeah.
You go back to 2017, and you look at the passing touchdowns allowed. It's pretty much just one passing touchdown a game, from 2017 all the way up to this point. It's about one passing touchdown per game they allow.
That's crazy.
It is, man,
that is a crazy stat right there.
And the thing is that when Deshaun Jackson comes back, that offense just changes so much.
Yeah.
So with him being out, I'm viewing Carson Wentz as a shaky start this week. I don't have him in any leagues, but I wouldn't recommend him, starting him over some of the guys we mentioned earlier in the starts.
So I got him in 2 leagues, and I actually have the same quarterback combo in both leagues, and it's really tough. I have Carson Wentz and Baker Mayfield. So
wow,
it's a tough situation. And I know Baker's going against Seattle. That's another questionable. We're not telling you to start him, but we get it. You can't sit him. I mean, he's just
you could. I mean, you could sit him.
Yeah. I mean, he just hasn't looked great at all. So in those situations, I got to play Baker over Carson. So that's why Carson's more of just a sit for me than Baker. But I don't like Baker this week either. I have Baker in every single league that I am in except for one. And then that league, I only have Jacoby Brissett.
Man, so, how do you start Baker Mayfield now?
I don't. I start Jacoby Brissett. Carson Wentz.
Well, you're not going to start Brissett this week.
No, I can't. I got to start Baker against Seattle.
You can because Brissett would have more points than Baker did last week. Baker had -1.
I don't want to talk about it. I sat him. It doesn't matter.
So you play Brissett on a bye week, and he would have had more points.
All right. So let's get into some of these running back starts. Phil, you want to kick this one off?
Okay. I'll kick it off.
Kick it off.
All right, I'll kick it off. I'm going to talk about the 49ers running backs, though. All right. 49ers running backs and Matt Breida and Tevin Coleman, I think that's a powerful 1-2 punch that they got going right now in San Francisco. That's definitely one of the bright spots that I see there in that team. I think these are two running backs that can be trusted as starts. Breida right now has proven himself so far with Tevin Coleman being out, but I think everybody needs to be kind of cautious with that because Tevin Coleman is a great back.
Yeah.
And he's healthy now, and you saw some of those spurts last week against the Browns, and I think it can continue right now going this week against the Rams.
You know what I could see in the 49ers backfield? Both running backs, actually all three running backs, four, I mean, if you want to include Jerick McKinnon, they're all been injured, like within the last year and a half. So I could see them doing more of a running back by committee now to try to keep somebody,
right.
Keep them fresh. And
yeah, but I think if it's right now, the bell cow of it is going to be Coleman and Breida.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Breida's been looking lights out. Coleman's been looking great. I think Mostert will, get some carries in there, probably in some passing situations, because Mostert's been looking good in those scenarios too. But
yeah, he saw a very big decline in carries last week with Coleman coming in.
Yeah, he's not a guy to start. But
he's not a guy to start. But if you are in a bad situation, like right now, I'm in a bad situation with my running backs being hurt all over the place. So if you have nobody else, that could be an option. Because he might sneak in a touchdown or might get a couple points for you. Yeah, it's better than getting negative. So that could be
could slit your wrist.
Extreme shaky.
Or just pick him up, and set him on your bench. Because what the Cards have shown in the coming season, that one of those running backs are going to get injured again.
Exactly.
So I would pick him up too. That's going to be on our probably waiver wire ads.
Right, it'll probably be on Monday's podcast.
Yeah,
because
a teaser.
Someone's getting hurt.
Yeah, someone's getting hurt.
A guy that I like this week is Kerryon Johnson against the Packers. I mean, the Packers have just last week Zeke didn't have as big of a game as I thought he would have, but I think.
Well, yeah, they were down.
I think Kerryon Johnson's going to have a monster week. I really like Johnson's matchup against the Packers. So
all right, Dan, what about you, bro?
All right. Well, I'll see your 49er running back tandem.
Yeah.
And I raised you the Texans running back tandem.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I did. Let me tell you.
All right, tell me.
All right, so the Kansas City Chiefs.
You can't hide. Tell me.
I like see what you did there,
like
Carlos
that.
Hyde.
Thanks, man.
Rushing yards allowed 2 running backs this year. The Chiefs have allowed the second most rushing yards to running backs this year. And that's only because the Giants played Thursday night and they're first. So going into week 6, the Chiefs had allowed the most rushing yards to running backs. All right, stat number 1. 2, they have allowed the second highest yards per carry to running backs this year.
Yeah.
So even though so the Chiefs are winning, they're we winning big. They cannot stop the run at all. When they beat the Raiders, Josh Jacobs went for almost 100 yards on 12 carries.
Because Josh Jacobs is awesome.
He is. And you should probably trade for him. But it might be too late now. Because
I tried giving Mike Evans away from him and nobody would take him.
No one wants Mike Evans for some reason. I don't know why.
We'll get into that later.
Anyways. So second most rushing yards allowed to running backs. Second highest yards per carry. And then you think about it. You had Carlos Hyde that got cut. He got cut by the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So you got to think he was going to run with purpose this week. They're in Kansas City. He's going to try and prove Andy Reid wrong. Like, you shouldn't have cut me. And look, I played Duke Johnson too, depending on your roster, obviously.
Right. And the league you're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Your PPR, half PPR, Johnson's obviously going to have more value. This game has the highest over-under this week. There's going to be some points scored. And I think the Colts figured out how to beat the Chiefs. Like, you got to
pound it down their throats.
You got to pound the rock. You got to.
That hat that they all wore in the pregame locker room was amazing and just said, "Run the damn ball." So, they told the Chiefs what they were going to do before the game even started.
Yeah, they can't do anything about it. They're not going to stop the run.
Yeah. Hey, Phil, how do you feel about that? Dan just whooped out his Johnson. on you.
His Dookie got me.
His Dookie got you.
Yeah, I don't really like Duke Johnson ever, so I disagree with your Dookies.
Yeah,
but I like your hidiness.
You're hiding behind.
I don't like your Dookie,
Right.
but I like your hide.
You're hiding behind my Johnson.
I'm hiding it. I'm hiding
we have to
behind
edit that out.
Tyler. I'm hiding behind Tyler.
Well, you talked about the 49ers. Malcolm Brown's a start.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Yeah, thanks for that
got
trade, Dan. You know, I can actually start Todd Gurley every week, but
Yeah.
not this week.
Well,
Well,
you traded me Devontae Adams.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
say,
know.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
both
Thanks.
hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah, Malcolm Brown's for sure.
I'll bench
definitely.
Adams. You bench Gurley.
Gurley's
Okay.
doubtful, so start Malcolm Brown. Now I got a question for y'all. Is Darrell Henderson maybe a guy that y'all look at right now,
He's
I'll pick him up.
he's a shaky
like
start.
a FanDuel sleeper?
No,
No.
here's the thing. Malcolm Brown is already going to be
Yeah.
super cheap,
Yeah.
and we saw that when Gurley is not on the field, it's Malcolm Brown
Yeah, it's
getting
Malcolm
carries.
Brown. I would say it's going to be. I really think it's going to be an air raid type of attack, though. I really think it's going to. If it's one spot that's going to be the Rams winning this game, is going to be through the air. I don't think they're going to run the ball that much, but I mean Singletary. I think he's worth a pickup. I don't think he's owned in a lot of leagues. We'll see what happens.
Okay. So y'all got anybody else y'all
Yeah,
want to talk
man.
about?
I got Adrian Peterson going against the freaking Dolphins. That's a must start.
You got somebody?
Are you kidding me?
All right. So on the other side, all right. So you got Kenyon Drake.
No, you don't.
Look, these
you don't.
I'm not gonna.
If you would say if it's 1 week to start Kenyon Drake,
If the NFL should cancel one game, ever, it should be this game.
No, they shouldn't. I got a survivor pick on. I got 2 survivor picks on this game.
Honestly,
postpone it.
this game would be so epic if it was a tie.
Let's just wait till
That
next year after all the draft picks. and
What
then
would
we can
happen if
actually get
it
going.
ties and they both go 0-15-1?
That would be freaking.
Who gets the
hilarious.
one pick?
Coin toss?
I feel
Really?
Coin toss.
it breaks down to points scored, all that kind of stuff. But if everything's evenly matched, I think it is a coin toss.
Either that or rock paper scissors. I'd hope it's a rock paper scissors tournament. I would
Yeah.
love that.
Rochambeau that bitch.
Or just throw a dart. Just throw a dart.
Yeah,
Whatever,
Quarterback
the
competition.
closest to the bullseye gets the first pick.
Nah, quarterback competition. Like how the Chargers and the Saints do it, and that decides number 1 pick.
So yeah,
Well-
so AP they want to establish a run. That's what Callahan said. The only reason I'm saying Drake is that I think they realize that Kalen Ballage is
Not the answer.
he's not good, right? He's not even playing anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's Drake and Walton, and Drake is still talented in my opinion.
At least he's able to go out on passes. You know what I'm saying? At least he's able to
Yes.
go out as a receiver.
Yes.
He's good enough to do that.
If you don't play Drake this week, then cut him
And you know what's
because you will
crazy?
never play him again
Kenyon Drake on any other team in the NFL would
unless
be a
he gets
start.
traded. Right? Yeah, if he gets traded, yes.
Seriously.
But if he stays on the Dolphins, then cut him because
You put Kenyon Drake in the Patriots offense.
dude, he's awesome.
You put Kenyon Drake in the Bucks offense. That's a start.
Yes,
Easily.
yes.
Well, you're talking about all these starts. Let's get into some of these running back sits.
Man. All right.
Let's pop it off.
Let's pop it off.
I'll start. Shady McCoy. Look, he only got 2 carries last week.
It's a shady pick.
Yeah,
Stop throwing shade on that.
It is.
Sorry.
Always trying to throw shade. Definitely though. It's easily. That's easily sit there.
I looked at the snap count, and Damian Williams, he didn't play that much more than Shady. I don't know why. But Damian Williams got 9 carries and 4 targets. Shady got 2 targets, no carries.
Yeah, I think with Damian Williams coming back, it's just that I feel like he's just a better option there for Kansas City.
I think so. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about Shady. Just because last week, there's just better options.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and sit the Eagles running backs, Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. They have a rough week this week going against Minnesota, so yeah.
Okay. Phillip Lindsay has a very tough matchup going against Tennessee. I just don't. The only way I could see him getting some fantasy points is through the air game, little dink and dunks out the backfield. I would sit Royce Freeman if you have him as well. I just don't like. Tennessee has a very good defense, and I just don't like. I don't like.
I like Royce Freeman a little more just because maybe the goal line.
Yeah, goal line, like he could sneak into for a touchdown.
But Phillip Lindsay, he's sneaky like that though, man. When the games that you think that he should not be starting are the ones that he actually excels in.
Yes, I just know that there's some matchups out there that I like more than that. But
yeah, if you have other options, definitely choose those. But like you said, it's hard to bench running backs right now.
So it's difficult.
It's difficult.
It's not what you want to do at all. Like, I mean, their running backs are hurt, or you have like us. All three except for Dan. Dan. Well, no, Dan. Now you traded all your running backs.
Dan has like all the running backs on his team.
But
I traded Phil Gurley and I got Malcolm Brown. So I was up. I had a diabolical plan.
Definitely. Everybody you gives me, like they always suck, and they always work out for you.
Another running back that could be shaky's Devontae Freeman. I know he is utilized in the passing game now. That's where he's going to probably do a lot of work out of. That offensive line starting to pick up a little bit. They're developing chemistry. We knew there was going to be a buffer period where they needed that. I just don't like it against Arizona. Arizona's actually ranked top 10 in the rushing defense. So
and this comes down to one of those injury-prone teams. Like if you have Devontae Freeman and you have nobody else, that it's hard to bench him. But if you have a backup, you have somebody that has an easier matchup, for sure, definitely. But what I'm saying is because I have Devontae Freeman and I have no choice but to start him, and I hate it. But it's going to have to happen.
You actually have to sit him, but if you got a better matchup, you've seen the matchups, and you're like, oh man, like this is kind of like a shaky matchup, but what should I do, and all that kind of stuff. I have this guy and this guy. Hopefully we've talked about that, and if we haven't, you could always come in on Sunday and go ahead and join our podcast and ask your starts and sits questions, and we'll answer that for you.
That's it for that. Let's get into these wide receivers, man.
Yeah, wide receivers.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start Mohamed Sanu. I think this is the week to do that. They always – what I call it now, Dan, I call it the Juju syndrome, okay?
Uh-huh.
What happens now is
your Juju.
Not your Juju because
okay.
we love her. She's awesome.
Shout out Juju.
This is the whole Juju syndrome when
loving, caring,
he was actually like really good with Antonio Brown on the team, and now that Antonio's gone, he's just like kind of whatever. But he was able to excel knowing that he wasn't going to be double covered. Right now, the Falcons' top wide receiver Julio Jones is always going to be double covered. You got Patrick Peterson probably on him now, and that leaves up a lot of targets for their number 2s and their number 3s. Mohamed Sanu is a very solid option that gets 5 to 7 targets a game. I think what he will do with those targets is produce at least 1 touchdown this week.
Yeah, I mean their game plans, like you said, is to try to shut down or neutralize Julio Jones as much as they can. Calvin Ridley is also another very big focal point.
They'll put their second best DB on Calvin Ridley, and that leaves a whole bunch of wide openness for the Sanu.
And Mohamed Sanu has looked very solid these last few weeks, so I love that pick. Another guy that I like this week, we talked about, well, Kinder just came out here.
Holding a little bend in his hand.
We talked about Kirk Cousins just because you weren't out here and I was allowed to. So another start is going to be Stephon Diggs. Adam Thielen got his week last week. I think it's going to be Diggs' week this week. I think it's just going to probably go back and forth. And you know what? I think this starts more of I hope it's Diggs' week this week because I have him and I need him to produce something so I can trade him.
This comes the segment, Can We Dig It?
Can we dig it?
Yeah, this week you can dig it this week.
All
you can definitely dig it this week.
What you got, Dan?
I got Larry Fitzgerald. So I'll start with Kyler.
You damn right.
Man, is my voice like going that bad?
I love it, though. You can feel the pain when you talk about the Redskins like this. I love it.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
I mean, my voice isn't gone because of the Redskins. That's long gone.
Don't lie to the people. Don't you dare lie to the people.
I came into this year knowing that we were going to suck. But no. So you got Christian Kirk. He's coming off of injury. He's expected to play, but it doesn't matter. Like if you're a starting receiver for the Cardinals, you have a potential to blow up. And, I mean, Kyler and Larry Fitzgerald, they had that connection.
Yeah.
And
It's the Juju syndrome, bro. Even if
literally the Juju syndrome.
even if Christian Kirk comes back, that helps Larry Fitzgerald.
yes, you were right about that.
Oh, God.
But look, he's definitely going to get the targets. He's getting the looks. And that Falcons defense, like I said, there's nothing scary about it. He's going to have he's going to be a solid start wherever. It doesn't matter if it's standard PPR or half PPR.
All right, speaking more of the Juju syndrome, Marvin Jones Jr. is thriving off this Juju syndrome. Kenny Galladay's the number one guy there. You know, Marvin Jones is getting the second corner for most teams. I think Marvin Jones is going to have a very solid game against the Packers this week. I think Kenny Galladay is going to get the number one coverage, and Marvin Jones can sneak in for a touchdown. Not sneak in. I think he's going to blow those doors open.
He's going to line up and running back or quarterback and sneak in from the 1 yard line.
QB sneak.
Yeah. I think Terry McLaurin has a monster week. What do you think, Dan? You like that?
I do. That's the only besides the Peterson. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. That was awesome.
Besides Peterson, I think McLaurin is a player that, I mean, I would comfortably start for the Redskins. And like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I know
one else
last
on the
week,
Redskins.
Last week it was he was injured and had a little hammy problem. But
Yeah,
I think the McLaurin's ready to roll again, bro.
yeah. Like AP this week against the Dolphins. Like after this, we will probably
I like the
not.
McLaurin. Like the car.
McLaren. It's McLaren.
Yeah, I like McLaren.
Yeah,
McLaurin.
like clearing my throat.
I like McLaurin. Well, we'll
Yeah.
see if we can get him on the show. See if he correct his name.
Yeah,
Yeah. Curtis Samuel. That's another guy that playing against Tampa Bay. It's going to be in London. I think it's going to.
sound like you're from London.
No, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good game for Curtis Samuel. Kyle Allen looks like he has a connection with Curtis. And any guy that has a wide receiver in the NFL that has the name Curtis, I don't think he's a bad receiver. Prove me wrong.
Well, if you have a last name Samuel,
you have two first names.
then you're
As your
pretty
name.
cool.
Hey,
Anyways.
if you got two first names, you're finishing first. Ricky Bobby did
Like
it.
if it was Samuels, Samuels is not a first name. Like
Curtis
Samuel
Samuel.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two first names.
Samuel Talley.
Hey,
But-
that's it. That's all. That's all you need to know. Two first names playing against the Bucks. Start them.
Man, why you gotta do that?
Look, I like Dede Westbrook.
You sure as hell do, Chip.
Yeah, against the Saints.
You gotta love Dede.
Look, the Saints.
The Juju syndrome.
No, that's
Think
DJ
about
Chark.
it.
That's DJ Chark getting the juju.
No,
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so.
it is.
So look,
DJ Chark's gonna have Marshawn Lattimore.
Yes.
Guess who Dede Westbrook's gonna have on him?
PJ Williams,
Yeah, the person that Dan hates the most in this world.
dude.
Dan hates that dude.
No, I love him because every time
Oh, yeah,
if
that's
someone
right.
matches up against him, I
You
want
just
to.
think he's complete dog trash.
What? I looked up a stat.
Stat it.
The slot receivers, like defense against slot receivers, weeks 2 through 5. So I don't know why I didn't count week 1, but the Saints have allowed the most yards per game to slot receivers from weeks 2 through 5.
And who's in that slot?
I'm gonna say PJ Williams.
There it is. I guess he's gonna be in the slot this week.
Yeah, so I mean it's
Dede
over.
Westbrook.
It's over 100 yards a game too. So depending on how deep your league is and who's on your team, I think Dede could be a solid star, especially in like a PPR.
Yeah.
league.
Let's keep it rolling with these Jags though, because we're never gonna say sit this dude ever again. And I'm not telling you to ever. DJ Chark. Let's chark it up as a start.
Yeah, that's all I was going to say.
Ooh.
You'll never hear
Chark it
on
up.
this podcast again, sit Gardner Minshew or sit DJ Chark. They bit us last week.
Only
they
if
bit
they're
us the
hurt.
week before.
Only if they're
Just-
not playing, and even if they are playing, that it's a possibility.
Dan threw out the stat, like I should play Jacoby Brissett on a bye instead of Baker because Baker had like negative something points. So
Smart.
just gonna have to roll with it. Maybe you do roll with him.
That's a smart move.
So let's get on to some of these wide receiver sits.
I'm gonna jump on this one real quick.
Go ahead, jump on it because I
All
was
right,
gonna
look.
jump on it if you didn't.
So the Buccaneers have this pirate ship that they have in their stadium, right? It's really cool. I've been on it. It's awesome. It's a party deck. They got like cannons that just go bang and stuff. Mike Evans needs to just get up off of that ship. Mike Evans needs to just completely understand why he plays football figure it out and try to come back. Because right now, he is producing nothing but goose eggs like last week, and he's starting to piss me right off.
Well, I mean, he's doing what DeAndre Hopkins is doing. I think they called each other up and said,
how many
you know
points
what,
did DeAndre Hopkins have last week?
He had 4 points.
How many did Mike Evans have?
0 points.
How many targets did he have?
Hey,
Zero.
You know what? 2
How
weeks
many
ago,
yards
how
did
many
he have?
points did he have? You know,
Zero.
I could just go with how many points did Mike Evans have 2 weeks ago?
Look, man.
He lit it up, and how many points did DeAndre Hopkins have? 2 points. All I'm saying is I think that DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans called each other up, and they said, you know what? I think these people just don't, care about us enough, so let's just do shit this year, and
you know how many
we're not going
points
to do
Mike
anything.
Evans has had this whole year?
And less than DeAndre Hopkins.
He has 24 points this entire year.
Okay, well, maybe not less than DeAndre Hopkins. I think DeAndre Hopkins has 30, and he had 23 points the first week.
Right now, we don't know what's happening with him. It's
called the Juju syndrome.
It's a safe bet to bench him.
It's called the Juju syndrome. Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin's monstering right now.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Don't you dare.
I gotta
Who are you?
Here. I gotta finally jump in.
Don't you dare, Mike.
I'm speaking
that's
for
Bennett.
Bennett here. Did you say Mike Evans has how many points?
Like 24 total.
He had 34 against me alone.
No, he didn't.
The 3 touchdown game.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
No, he didn't. Fake news.
Dan, he single-handedly beat me.
Next topic. That's fake news. Next topic.
Look, Richard Sherman.
DeAndre Hopkins has less. DeAndre Hopkins has less points than Mike Evans this year. I don't want to hear it
I
anymore.
will say,
But look, it only happened in one game is what I'm trying to say, all right? That's all I'm saying. You can produce a big blowout game, or you can get consistent points like DeAndre Hopkins. At least he's being consistent with his points. Mike Evans is throwing. I don't care what these.
That one game, he put up almost
You're
the
interrupting me. It's very rude.
Consistency is consistency.
Look, I
whether
don't
it's
care
2 points a
if he's
game.
putting up
sit back there and you grab
If he's
scout.
putting up 3 or 4 points a game, that's consistency. If he's putting up 0, 1, 32, and then 0, that's a bad play.
I just want you to know, inside of that one game, he almost outscored DeAndre Hopkins. I think DeAndre Hopkins has like 2 more points more than that one game Mike Evans had. But let's go ahead and move on. I do agree Mike Evans is a bench this week. I think Alshon Jeffrey's also a sit this week. Going against Minnesota, we've already told you the stats with the Vikings defense, so I don't have to stick more into it. So bench him. He hasn't done really anything the last 2 weeks.
yeah, I mean,
Dan, what you got?
I'm benching Mike Williams. Sorry.
I don't
Excuse me.
think he's really healthy, man. I really don't. He's playing like
You talking about me? I'm not healthy?
No.
Oh,
Right.
Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, that sucks, dude. Why are you gonna look me in my eyes and say
Damn,
I'm not
bro,
healthy?
I really think you're ill.
Dude, you think I'm dying?
Yo, that's ill, bro.
Dude. Yeah. So, but, yeah, I kind of... Hold on. Let me take a swig real quick.
Don't spit that out, please. Don't.
I
Spit that out.
that almost came out my nose.
Look, we're almost at the end, okay?
Yeah.
So, bear with me. All right.
The Bears are on a bye.
What?
He said, "Bear with me."
Oh. Okay, so Mike Williams.
Come on, man. Pick up what I'm
So,
putting down.
looking up the same defense versus slot receivers, the Steelers, they struggle with slot receivers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Keenan Allen plays the majority of his snaps in the slot.
Okay.
Joe Hayden is going to match up with Mike Williams, and just like you said, Mike Williams, he might just be playing banged up, hurt, and with Melvin Gordon coming back, maybe they just want to establish him back into the offense. And look, they're desperate for a win. Like, they just lost to the Broncos last week, and I mean, their season, I don't want to say it's on the line now, but when you have the Raiders with a better record, and you have the Chiefs already that are just gonna, they're pretty much, I don't want to say guaranteed to win the division, but they're the favorites. They gotta get this offense going, and I think it's gonna run through Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I agree. 2 sits left. Quick one. If Devontae Adams is out, sit Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's proven that he just cannot handle the number 1 cornerback. And I know that's going to be a juicy matchup for you. If Devontae Adams is out, you're like, oh, he's a number 1 wide receiver there. Nah, I really do think that Geronimo Allison is going to have a better game than MVS because he's going to have less coverage on him. Another guy is going to be Tyler Boyd going against the Ravens. Marlon Humphrey has shut down a lot of big name targets this year, and Tyler Boyd. Everybody else is hurt. I mean, they came out and said AJ Green is going to sit this one out. He is in full pad, so he's going to be coming back very shortly. I think this is you sit Tyler Boyd this week.
Yeah, definitely better options out there to start.
Yeah, so that's all we have for starts and sits. I did want to get into this little surprise segment with y'all. I want y'all to guess who has if Tom Brady or this running back has more rushing touchdowns.
Okay. Like this year or like
this year.
lifetime?
No, this year. All right, Marlon Mack or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Okay, that's true.
Of course, you start with a Colt.
All right.
Jesus.
James Conner or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Okay.
Doesn't James Conner only have like one?
James Conner has 2.
He has 2. Okay.
Chris Carson or Tom Brady?
Chris Carson.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady has 3. Chris Carson has 1.
Right.
Yeah,
it was
he
last
must have
year.
some receiving touchdowns then.
Alvin Kamara or Tom Brady?
Rushing touchdowns.
Rushing touchdowns.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Kamara only has like 1, I think.
Yeah, Kamara has literally 1. Here you go. This is LaShawn McCoy. Remember, he did play a lot of games. Or Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
No. Wait.
Tom Brady.
LaShawn McCoy has 3, right?
I'll
say LaShawn McCoy.
Okay. Tom Brady has more.
Dang, man.
Yeah. David Johnson.
Let's just call it, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, and Leonard Fournette.
Tom Brady. I don't think
This
Leonard Fournette
isn't a
has
game.
one. This isn't a game.
Let's
just call it Tom Brady has more touchdowns than these people.
You're just dropping facts right now. That's all you're doing.
I mean, it's really not. I was kind of hoping that I kind of dropped the ball inside and told y'all he had more rushing touchdowns than Chris Carson and Leonard Fournette. So that was like my big oh wow. But
well, I mean, I know Leonard Fournette only has like 1 touchdown, if any.
So no, Tom Brady has 3 rushing touchdowns. Everybody on that list has 2 or less.
Yeah. Good on you, Tom.
Yeah, good.
All right.
Good on you, Tom.
All right, so we got this fantasy stud of the past coming up.
Go ahead, Dan. Hit us with that way back in the day fantasy stud of the past.
2015. So who was good then?
Oh, there was a lot of people. There was a lot of people who was good. Do you remember who the MVP was?
Was that the year that AP came back?
Matt
No.
Ryan.
No.
It wasn't Matt. Was that Cam Newton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, that was that year. Okay, got
It was
it.
back
Got
to
it. Okay, that was that year.
Back-to-back NFC South MVPs. Because Cam Newton won it the year before.
Okay. So this is a wide receiver. Okay.
Okay.
NFC East. He had 109 receptions, 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns, tied for the most in the league that year. And his teammate was also a 1,000-yard receiver with 12 touchdowns.
Is that Deshaun Jackson?
AFC East.
Oh, I thought you
AFC
said
East?
NFC East.
AFC East.
You said NFC East, but you got us on
Play
that
it back.
one.
No, I
AFC
didn't.
East is in the. That's what teams again?
Jets, Patriots,
Robbie
Bills,
Anderson.
and the what's the other team?
Was that Robbie Anderson?
Jets, Patriots, Bills, Dolphins. So you know it's not the Dolphins. If I'm
Right.
saying
Robbie Anderson.
no.
Quincy Newell.
No. 14 touchdowns?
Well, no, hold on. There was a year that Robbie Anderson and Quincy Newell went off. I didn't remember if that was year.
They weren't even in the league that year.
Okay.
2015.
That was the year that the Falcons blew that 28-point lead.
No.
No, that was the year Cam
No.
Newton went to the
was
Cam
the
Newton
Broncos,
and the
Panthers,
Broncos
Super Bowl.
went Super Bowl.
No. If you said Matt Ryan was MVP,
No, he said Cam Newton was
Newton.
MVP.
Oh my God, I got my whole years mixed up. I'm so sorry about that. Wow. Okay.
25th, man, I can't even, I honestly, the only,
For the Bills.
He's for the Jets.
For the Jets?
For the Jets.
Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall? Okay,
Brandon
damn it.
Marshall.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember if he was on the Dolphins that year or not.
Who was his teammate?
Yes.
It wasn't Quincy Newell, was it?
No.
Okay, Percy Harvin?
No.
No.
He's white.
Eric Decker.
Yep.
Okay. I had to think about that. Wow, that
Yep.
was
That was when Tebow was there.
that was a
No, guess
No,
the
it wasn't.
quarterback.
No, I mean Tebow was on the team.
Was that with Fitzpatrick?
Tebow was
Josh McCown.
No, I think it was
Sanchez.
no,
Was it Fitzpatrick?
it was Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was my
Fitzpatrick
first
was still
guess.
there. Yeah.
That was my first guess.
Yeah, they went 10-6.
Yeah, didn't make the playoffs.
Yep. No, they didn't.
Okay. Wow, Dan, that for something that was in 2015 that actually kind of stumped us.
Yeah, man.
I had a feeling it was going to be the Jets. That's why I threw out Robbie Anderson and Quincy Newball. I even called Cam Newton. I even said Cam Newton was an MVP. My bad
Yeah, I
about
thought you
that.
got. I was like, wait, no, you did.
I was thinking the year that
Yeah.
Matt Ryan won MVP, they blew that 28-point lead in the Super Bowl. All right, I think that's all we got. Make sure you tune in Sunday. Come in our Facebook Live, Overtime Fantasy.
Ask your questions, get ready.
Hey, like and share. Tell your friends. Don't keep it a secret. Let's get this thing worldwide. Let's just blow up. Let's share this wealth of knowledge and help a lot of people win some fantasy leagues.
All right, we'll see you on Sunday.
Dan, you got anything?
I'm tired of talking.
Good
Time to
job.
get a rest.
All right.